On this episode of the Best of Bias podcast, you got your boy. We talking sports, NBA playoffs. I know I'm kind of sad about those right now. I'll tell you why a little bit later. We got some NBA awards to talk about, WNBA preseason, some NCAA talk. I want to talk a little about Oregon because we're getting all the transfer portal. We're going crazy in the transfer portal. Drake and Kendrick. Let's talk about the scoreboard. A lot of stuff happened since the last time we talked. So I got to get you guys an update of what's going on and how I feel about it. What else we got? There's music dropping tonight. I'm recording this on Thursday night. So there's some good music dropping tonight. I'll get to those albums later. Tom Brady Roast passed and a little bit of Cinema Corner. So I'm not gonna be on too long, but we're gonna talk a little bit today. We're gonna talk a little bit today. No guests today, it's just me. But we're gonna have some fun. It's the Best of Bias podcast. It's your boy. It's Friday. End of the week, your favorite time because your favorite podcast is here. It's your boy, and we gonna talk some stuff. So it's the Best of Bias podcast. Where that theme song at? It's right here. Let's get right to it. Yeah.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah. It's the best of bias.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your favorite podcast, the Best of Bias podcast, starting yours truly, Lydell, dinero. We in the building today. What is it? I got the gear on the BLBP. I'm sorry, I always cover it up, but you can see it right there if you're on the YouTube. But if you're not, I'm sorry on the audio. You just heard that nasty noise I made with the microphone. I apologize, but thank you for being here nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? However you consume the podcast, I am grateful, but we here for another day, another Friday, another loaded podcast of the Best of Bias podcast, your favorite podcast where we bring everything to the table. It don't matter what it is. We probably gonna be talking about it. You know what I'm saying? What you want to talk about? Sports, pop culture, music, comics, superhero, movies. We go talk about it probably. Just bring it to the table. Usually I have guests on from all aspects to come and talk about it with me. But today I gave you guys the rundown in the beginning of what I'm be talking about, and it's just me. Usually I have guests. I have a big, expansive family. If you're new to the podcast, the people that come back all the time, they're here every Friday. You already know it's good. But all the time, it's not just me. I try to expand the background, so at least y'all get a little excited about just seeing me. But yeah, the family love it. I love it. Thank you guys for being here nonetheless. So let's get right into the shits, man. Let's talk about these NBA awards before we talk about the playoffs, because I'm not too keen on the NBA playoffs right now. I'm a little upset. You know what I'm saying? People who know me know why. But let's start with the NBA awards. They were just dropped this weekend. First of all, actually, before I get into that, how y'all doing? How y'all doing today? You know what I'm saying? I kind of just try to jump into stuff and rush the pod, but I always like to check in with y'all. How y'all doing? Mental health wise, I know the week was probably long. I know your boss was probably stressing you out. I know your significant other was probably stressing you out, but I'm glad you're here to have a release. Let's take a little breathing exercise together. You want to do that? You want to do that real quick? Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And let's get right to it. My bad. I just wanted to make sure, you know what I'm saying, y'all ready, you know what I'm saying, right mind space to absorb this information I'm about to throw on y'all real quick. Just make sure y'all are releasing from this busy ass week I know y'all probably had. So let's get back into it. So NBA awards, man. You already know what happened with the big one. Let's start with the other ones, man. Every year, of course, there's a number of awards that are given out to the top performers in the NBA, voted on by various NBA executives and writers and stuff like that. Let's start. You already know what the usual suspects are. Rookie of the Year went to Wemby. Wemby had a crazy season this season, as everybody expected. Could have won Defensive Player of the Year, but it went to Gobert. I'll get to that in a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I spoiled it, but I'll spoil that. But just, excuse me, I'll spoil that award. Yeah, Wemby had an incredible season. It was either going to be him or Chet Holmgren, I believe, for this season. Chet Holmgren didn't play last year because of his that I don't know if it was Liz Frank fracture in his foot that stopped him from playing. But whatever it is, I think it's in like a Drew League game that he hurt his foot, so he wasn't able to play his rookie year. But this year he was able to play, and he actually showed out. But Wemby did some otherworldly shit. You know, he averaged, I think, like 20 points, had like 3 blocks a game, 1 steal a game, like all all kind of crazy shit. And it was just wild. So if he wasn't going to win Defensive Player of the Year, he definitely won Rookie of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year went to Rudy Gobert. I think it's his fourth time winning the award. 7-footer, chases the ball down, blocks shots. You know what I'm saying? The stalwart of the Minnesota Timberwolves defense. Well, who I'll talk about in a little bit, who are rolling right now. Already swept the Phoenix Suns, and man, Nuggets are playing real bad right now. Have us down bad, and are on the way to sweeping us if we don't play right. But I'll talk about when again when the playoff section comes up. But he did win Rookie of the Year. I mean, excuse me, Defensive Player of the Year. Sixth Man of the Year was Nas Reed. Another player from the Minnesota Timberwolves showing out, a player that I didn't really expect to be as raw as he actually is, contributing to that winning Minnesota team right now, off the bench, just making threes. Minnesota having another big man to throw at Jokic, Rudy Gobert, and Karl-Anthony Towns. He's playing his role well, buying the big man some minutes, helping them when they're in foul trouble, and he's actually deserves Sixth Man of the Year. Malik Monk won last year, and he was on his way to winning it this year before he got hurt. So I think that opened the door for Nas Reed. But he's showing it, man. He's played great. And of course, the big boy MVP Jokic won MVP for the third time. Should have been 4 in a row if he didn't lose last year to Embiid on some weird ass social campaigning. The media started because they got voter fatigue of Jokic and him performing so well. But he got the Finals MVP last year. But this is his third MVP in 4 years, putting him in names in groups of NBA legends that are on the Mount Rushmore of players. LeBron, Larry. I don't know if it was Larry Bird. Larry Bird, Kareem. I think Michael Jordan. It's like just players that are of the great of greats. Jokic at 29, not even 30 yet, has accomplished so much. Won Denver their first championship. Me personally, just experienced it all. Him to get drafted in the second round and still is able to grow into the player he is now. Everybody used to make fun of him, how he was just a fat kid that had handles and could pass the ball. And just made fun of that little picture they used to always post of him. People make fun of how he runs, how he always looks tired, how red his nose is. He was a joke before he actually became the Joker and got the respect of everybody in the league. It wasn't really until last year. I mean, even though he had 2 MVPs in a row before last year when he actually won the championship and crossed that threshold, people still wanted him to win that championship to validate his greatness. This third MVP award that he won this year, though we're down in the playoffs 0-2, and people are kind of, looking at him like, okay, is he really that good now? Even though he, again, should have won MVP last year, won the championship last year, and won MVP the 2 years before that. People are still kind of questioning, was last year a fluke? Is he still as good as people really think he is? He shouldn't have won MVP this year. Shai Gilgeous or Luka should have won the MVP. I'm like, what? Y'all just kind of forget and kind of have recency bias because of the fact that the Nuggets are down 0-2 and Shai Gilgeous just swept the Pelicans and they're up 0-1 against the Mavericks, which they may not be after today because they're playing pretty bad against them. The Mavericks are up about 12 right now in the second quarter. And Luka, they lost the first game and they kind of scratched their way to the 5-6 seed, or I think it was a 4 or 5 seed. So it wasn't necessarily MVP worthy. His numbers were crazy during the regular season, but so were Jokic's. So I just kind of felt he deserved it, and everybody thought he was MVP all season. So why switch up now because he had the short end of the stick in the playoffs and isn't playing as well as he was in the regular season? But I mean, it's a regular season award, so I feel like that should be considered, and people should accept it. People hating like Shaq's hating on him, saying it should have went to Shai Gilgeous, just kind of publicly stamping his foot down, saying that Shai Gilgeous deserved it and he was snubbed, and just saying that, kind of disrespecting Jokic, even though Jokic doesn't really care too much about MVPs, you know what I'm saying? Or probably rarely cares about the media. Who knows how much he's actually on the internet? But I mean, at this point, for people to just kind of discredit or just say that the award deserved to go to somebody else at this point is just kind of crazy. I'm sure this is probably going to be his last time winning MVP, not just because of his performances and he probably not going to perform MVP level anymore. I think it's just because at a certain point, they're not going to just keep giving him MVPs, especially if he starts to get to levels of stars, passing stars that people feel were better than him, achieve more than him championship wise and stuff like that. So I think this year was the last year they're going to give it to him anyways. I think the last 6 years have gone to MVP has gone to players that are international. So I'm really seeing this big campaign to see who's going to be the face of the league for the American players nowadays. This really big campaign is starting for Anthony Edwards. He's a great player. I love his personality. I love the dog in him, and he's a lovable guy. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Some people may have to accept that the face of the league for the next couple of years are going to be people from overseas. You know, Giannis is still here, Jokic is still here, Doncic is young, like 24, 25 years old. Shai Gilgeous is from Canada. It's like Anthony Edwards, you know, he's up next for sure, and he's still young, but I think some of these other guys may still have the reins. Who knows? He may win championship this year and change all that, but I still think these other guys still, you know, you can't really skip some of these guys and just kind of try to give it to Anthony Edwards just because he's doing what he's doing against us right now. Who knows, you know? Fingers crossed we can come back, win 2 games in Minnesota, then come back to Denver, win one again, 3-2, game 7 in Denver. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know, and I'm hoping for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping for that. I'm keeping my mind open. I'm keeping my heart open. I don't know who won Coach of the Year. I do apologize for that. I should have been more prepared on that aspect, but I don't know who won Coach of the Year yet. Maybe that's probably gonna come out tonight or sometime soon, and we'll figure that out. Maybe I can do a little research, but to go into the playoffs. Again, I'll talk my Nuggets first. The Nuggets are playing really bad against the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. I don't know what's going on. Regular season, we kind of played kind of bad against them, even with Karl Anthony Towns out. You know, their matchups against us were pretty tough, man. I even said last year in the first round, that was our toughest round in the playoffs just because of the matchups and what they could do to Jokic as far as throw big men at him. People that they can throw at Jamal Murray that can guard him well. If Aaron Gordon and MPJ aren't really doing what they're supposed to do, our scoring is going to get limited. Jokic is going to have to force stuff, and Jamal Murray has not been right all playoffs long, even in the first series. So his struggles do continue. Went for 3 for 18. I think Jokic went 3 for something last game as well. We're looking kind of like figured out as far as how defenses are playing us, or at least how Minnesota is playing us because they have the right players to do so. And they're in our division. We play them a lot. So after a while, and they're actually president of operations, basketball operations. Tim Conley was our player of basketball operations 2 years ago before we actually went there last year and took over for the Timberwolves and went and got Rudy Gobert and stacked his team to beat the Nuggets and Jokic is kind of crazy. But they are playing us well. Anthony Edwards, I'll be remiss if I don't talk about him. He's like averaging about like 36 points in this series. In the playoffs in general, is balling out, leading his team. Very young, man, 22, 23 years old. People thought that, you know, he wasn't serious about basketball. He liked football better. He said in his opening interviews coming into the league, he liked to rap. So people kind of questioned his work ethic and how committed he was going to be. But man, he's out there balling now and showing everybody that no matter what, if you're young, sometimes your skill and your drive and your time could be now, no matter what age or what time of your career you're in. Sometimes if you have that dog in your squad, you can do things. We never thought that Karl Anthony Towns would grow to be the alpha on the squad. People thought he might be getting traded somewhere pretty soon, but Anthony Edwards has come in and took that leadership role and had Karl Anthony Towns let him be able to be, you know, the backup player and kind of take the back seat and not have to be the leader and not put too much pressure on him, and have Anthony Edwards bear that pressure for the squad really helped his confidence out. And then Cat being in the game kind of took a lot of pressure off of Rudy Gobert to be the scorer as a big and just lets him roam around and kind of like just block shots and do his defensive thing. And have a leader also as like Mike Conley to be a point guard to kind of help shit out as well, to kind of navigate everything. If Anthony Edwards can't get his shot, if Karl Anthony Towns isn't on point, he can just kind of, you know, construct the offense and have them get in the right spots to do what they got to do. So it's a tough team. Again, they won both games in Denver, which is really surprising. We had a really good home record against at home during the regular season, and you know, during the playoffs, we won the Lakers series. We won the Lakers series 4-1. Gentleman sweep there. And again, the Wolves swept the Suns to get to this point. So the Minnesota Timberwolves haven't really lost at all in the playoffs yet. So hopefully we can go there and give them one at home, change the series, shake their confidence a little, because if they don't win at home, that means that we tie the series. You know, if we win that first one in their area, and we tied the series. I mean, the pressure of tying the series in game 2 in Minnesota puts a lot of pressure on Minnesota, especially going back to Denver for game 5. So we can flip the series if we do what we're supposed to. We had basically a week off to get right and, try something new to get there, try to get a win. The way they played last game made us look so stupid. Turnovers galore. They're locking us up. We're throwing temper tantrums. Jamal Murray throwing the heating pack on the floor, waiting to see if he was gonna get suspended or not. It was just a lot of nonsense. It brought a lot of negative attention to the Nuggets that weren't there last year. People are kind of trying to call us chokes now and frauds for everything we did last year. Say everything was kind of set up for us because some people got kicked out. Like, bro, it's frustrating, and I'm hoping that we can change it. Going back to Minnesota, I'm hoping that we can. We've been so good over the year that I feel like we can win any arena, and hopefully, I'm not proven wrong, man. It's gonna be disappointing to see the Nuggets out early, but I'm not losing faith. I'm keeping my head in the game, and let's go Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Thunder in Dallas. Thunder were able to actually win game 1. It is a very competitive series. Of course, you got Luka and Kyrie on the other team, so they're always going to go hard and always be tough to get out of the game. Of any game, no matter how stacked the OKC squad is. Of course, you got Jalen, Giddey, Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Lou Dort out there. A strong 5 with a lot of good bench players going out there that are shooters and defenders that can get out there and get at you too. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the series goes. Of course, Dallas is up right now in the game 2. Those new pieces that they got, you know what I'm saying, kind of changed the squad a little bit, gave them a little more of a defensive prowess. Derek Lively, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford coming in, gave them a little more physicality when it comes to their bigs. And having Tim Hardaway back, I think that'll change a lot in their scoring options with Kyrie and Luka. Luka getting used to playing against OKC may give him a little bit more of an advantage. I'm picking Dallas in that series personally because I feel like these young teams still need to pay their dues, especially last year, like how Sacramento and Memphis were at the top of the bracket all year and then went into the playoffs and kind of showed their ass in, a little bit pause in the beginning, first couple of rounds. But then when it got to the second, third round, kind of the experience of the other teams kind of showed and were able to take the teams over the top. Dallas made the Western Conference Finals not even maybe 2 or 3 years ago when they played the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. So they have that experience. Plus, they're getting Kyrie Irving and a couple of other pieces they added during the trade deadline. And then on the other side, the Nuggets, man, we're battle tested. We played a lot in the playoffs last year. We played against Minnesota in the last year's playoffs, so it shouldn't be that hard to adjust. When we had to do that last year. So I don't know what changed from last year to this year. They had tape on us. We should have tape on them to be able to counter. You know what I'm saying? We had made no counters. We lost 2 games at home. That's kind of crazy, but I'm not gonna talk about that. But I'm just saying that OKC series and the Timberwolves series, again, these young teams that are actually breaking the threshold now are getting a taste of the playoffs. I'm hoping, me personally, that those drawbacks come sooner than later. And they have to pay their dues just like everybody else. The microwave teams that come out and just win a championship right away without actually taking their lumps and getting that experience, even though we did beat them in the first round last year. And I think a couple of years ago, a play-in games, we beat them in. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of tradition between the history, excuse me, I should say, between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. So a lot of unfinished business, a lot of fans that hate us. The Lakers fans have been chiming in. How do I get back to the Lakers? And I mean the Nuggets and Timberwolves. I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah, OKC and Dallas is playing right now in the West, and I'm thinking Dallas will be able to pull that one off. On the other side, Celtics are playing the Cavaliers. The Celtics were up 1-0, but this game, I think recently today, they just lost by like 20. The Cavaliers put it on them. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell went off, especially from 3. I think the Celtics went kind of cold from 3. People do say that if the Celtics do go cold from 3, they kind of tend to not really win many games because they shoot a lot of threes. And if they don't drop, it puts them at a really big deficit, especially with long rebounds and other teams being able to be hella fast in transitions when those long rebounds do come and everybody's not ready to get back on defense when you just shoot up quick threes and stuff like that. So the Cavaliers were able to win, were able to do their thing, which was dope. Me personally, again, I want to see everybody be tested in the playoffs. I don't want to see anybody get walk through. I don't want anybody to have an easy ride to the playoffs, especially if the Nuggets are losing. You feel me? But yeah, that series is going to be interesting. The Knicks and Pacers, the Knicks are up 2-0 in that series. A lot of controversial calls, a lot of controversial things going on I guess, from the Pacers side of it. But the Knicks, man, they're in the semis for the first time in a while. The Madison Square Garden is rocking. Their fans are behind it. They're loving it. They're doing it all without Randall, though. I think OG Anunoby got hurt and won't be playing in game 3. I think he may be questionable. And Jalen Brunson hurt his foot in game 2 as well. That had him out for like maybe a half a quarter. So injuries, are a thing in playoffs. The Knicks are doing what they're supposed to do in the series. They're up 2-0, but now it goes to the Pacers home arena, see if they can get some games to get the series back even and taking it back to New York and see what happens there. But that series should be good too, man. But yeah, I want a good playoffs, man. It's been all kind of lopsided because the Nuggets started their playoffs first because everybody getting swept in the West. And we already played 2 games and everybody's just catching up to the 2 games now. That's why you have to wait hella in between games. That could be better for us, but that's the NBA playoffs for now. And quick update on Patrick Beverley. He got suspended 4 games for throwing the ball at the fans. I don't know what's up with Patrick Beverley, man. I really don't. I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, it could go with him being famous and him having an ego, just being Mr. Tough Guy. So him being embarrassed by a fan, he can't do that. I guess he can't take it, but I don't know, man, and how he reacted to the people in the press conference asking the lady if she subscribed to his podcast, not letting her ask any questions, telling her to back out the circle, almost hitting the kid in the face, throwing the ball. I don't even know why he threw the ball back. The fan might have been talking shit, saying 1, 2, 3 Cancun or some shit like that, but to fire the ball back hella fast and hard after he just kind of tossed the ball to Pat Bev, it's kind of crazy. I don't know what was said. Again, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I can't be 100% on the fan side and talk shit about Pat Bev, but he kind of does have a reputation of being a kind of a hothead, so I kind of feel like, he's lucky he only got 4 games because he put people in danger. And I think everybody's goal in the NBA is to not cause another Malice in the Palace. And hitting a woman in the face, hitting a little girl in the face could have caused the Malice in the Palace, especially for Pat Bev being the guy that takes that villain moniker to the next level a lot of the time. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. What else I got in NBA? I think that's all NBA. NFL, just quick note here. NBA, wow. NFL schedule release May 15th. I don't know. They kind of made it like a NCAA kind of tournament reveal kind of thing now. I don't know when they started dropping the schedule, kind of like on TV live to make everybody super excited. I guess it's kind of exciting to see what teams are playing on the holidays and stuff like that and what primetime games everybody gets. But gosh, I don't know why it's such a big deal, but hey, tune in. The Buccaneers schedule going to be dropping. We're going to talk a lot about football. You know how we do during football. Every game, every week, we go through, talk about the teams. We talk about fantasy. If you guys are here last season, you know how we do it. So NFL is a big deal. The schedule releases the 15th. Everybody's draft just passed. Talked about the draft on the last pod. Off-season OTAs and stuff are going to start soon. So yeah, it's gonna get real. But tune into the Best of Bias podcast. We always have all the NFL updates for y'all. But man, I can't wait to get some homies on to talk Prize Picks. I do really want to talk Prize Picks, and holla at me, Prize Picks, if you want to sponsor the pod. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is getting sponsorships. You know what I'm saying? Send one your boys' way because I'm a definitely a sponsor as far as playing. So you know what I'm saying? Return the love, your boy's ready. But yeah. NCAA, man. The football game, I think it's coming out really soon. I think maybe in July. College football 25, bringing the nostalgia back. Everybody's favorite teams. I know football season is not really coming up for NCAA in a while, but it's going to be the first year after all the division changes, and that shit's going to be really exciting. But recruiting and the transfer portal is hot right now. And I just want to shout out my Ducks, man. If you want to find a team to be in college football 25, just don't be scared to pick the Ducks because our transfer portal plus all the players we got returning from last year and we're building on, it's just going to be incredible. Let me name a couple people that are going to be joining Oregon. Peyton Woodyard just transferred from Bama to Oregon to play safety. That back end in our DBs always scared me personally when watching these games because we can score points with the best of them, but everybody's quarterback and everybody's receivers would just try to pick us apart. I don't know why it would happen. We've had a lot of good corner recruits, a lot of DB recruits, but this year we really solidified that with young people and a lot of and a lot of transfers that actually play the position. You know what I mean? So it was a lot. It's really cool to see players want to come to Oregon, really want to change the way we play, entering the Big Ten. You know, it's a little bit more of a hard-nosed football, a little bit more of a big boy football than Pac-12. I love my Pac-12, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like, man, the corn-fed linemen, the big boys that we need, linebackers that we need, the big time receivers and all that stuff we need. We need all that. We need the Big Ten to attract these guys. They want to get drafted in the long run, and exposure. Big time money games on TV, prime time games. These players are into the NIL deals, into the Nike, into everything that Oregon's offers, like externally. You know what I'm saying? And then for the fact if you're good and want to join this program that's actually stacking up to make a name as somebody joining the Big Ten for the first time, trying to make a name with the Michigans of the world, with the Ohio States of the world. They're used to running shit. You know what I'm saying? They're used to running shit, and that's being the newcomers that are used to being on the top of the Pac-12. We're kind of trying to come kind of trying to come and be just carry over and just kind of bully everybody coming in to the Big Ten. You know what I mean? Again, Peyton Woodyard playing safety, big boy coming out of Bama. Derek Harmon, one of the top defensive linemen in the portal, coming from Michigan State. Evan Stewart, Texas A&M flip, playing receiver, one of the top receivers in the country, especially now since he transferred from A&M last year. Dylan Gabriel, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, coming back from Oklahoma last year, transferring from Oklahoma. He's always looked up to Marcus Mariota, and it's the perfect time. Oklahoma went to the SEC. I don't know if he was scared of the SEC or just wanted to stay in the or be in the Big Ten and play for Oregon, and it's the best opportunity to do so. And hold on. Yeah, and him being able to play with a bunch of players in a stacked team and a coach that believes in him, that keeps bringing in recruits. Jabbar Muhammad transferring from Washington, their coach left to Alabama, so he thought, okay, we played so much against Oregon last year. We were the top team at stopping Oregon's receivers last year. He was one of the top DBs in the portal as well. So having him join the team as well with our young DBs. We're getting a whole bunch of young recruits in our cycle. So for that and have some carryover to 2025, it's just going to be crazy. The players that aren't ready now will redshirt, and we'll have people coming in ready to play. We have a recruit or a transfer from a D2 school. I forgot exactly what school it is. His name is Jay Harris. He's a running back. Just getting our new running back coach from Arizona State. After our running back coach left to go to Ohio State. It's just a lot of transferring, a lot of new positions, a lot of new coaches, a lot of new players. And it's just Dan Lanning inspiring that belief in all these players around the country to leave their Alabamas of the world, to leave their Michigan States, these well-known programs, to come to a school who's going into a new league with a new coach and a whole bunch of new coaches, just for them to believe in our pitch and to believe in the O and just believe in the school is refreshing. I hope it just translates into more recruits coming. Our receiver room is locked up. Tez Johnson, Jerrion Dickey, Evan Stewart. Man, we have probably one of the best receiving corps in the country. Our defensive lineman, Mateo Tungavalele. Man, yeah. He's a 5-star. He's gonna be in his second year. A whole bunch of 5-star recruits that for some reason changed into 4 stars from the 2024 class. We got some big boys on the line. I think we had a transfer from South Carolina that we played last year, who's gonna get his second year towards the burn, who's gonna be incredible, man. All right, I'm so excited for Oregon football. I just want to throw that in there because I know a lot of y'all talking, especially you, Jeremy, about how Oregon never won a national championship in basketball or football or nothing like that. Oregon needs to win something or else you can't talk, man. I've been talking a lot about Oregon and we've been building, man. We ain't. I'm not born into something that people already winning championships, so you can brag about championships that you didn't even really, man. Hey, man, I'm not even going there, but we gonna do it. I've been part of a whole bunch of teams winning their first championships in a while. Tampa Bay, a Denver Nuggets. So it's time. It's time for Oregon to come out here and win their first national championship in football. And let me fall back a little bit. But we'll see y'all. We'll see Michigan. We'll see Ohio State. The Pac-12 or the college football playoff expanded to 12 teams this year. No more 4-team shit. No more politics to try it again. If you raw, you're gonna be in the tournament. We're gonna see y'all there. How about that? But yeah, WNBA preseason is in full effect. uh Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, find them all playing right now. NBA WNBA preseason I assume is pretty short because the season's gonna roll around. I think it starts Monday. So I think there's just a couple of preseason games and they've been out there balling. I think Chicago Sky just beat the New York Liberty by 48 points. We saw Caitlin doing a bunch of step backs on people, popping threes, picking up where she left off in college. We also see Arika Ebumike hitting game winner step back for Dallas. Man, I'm excited for the WNBA season this year. I really started watching heavy last year. Of course, I follow Sabrina so much in the New York Liberty a lot, but I started really to expand my knowledge of a lot more teams as I started gambling also on Prize Picks. But a lot of players from that class, NCAA class, coming from this year going to the NBA or WNBA. So I'm excited to see how they transition and play against all the players I watched and grown to love last year. And the fact that there's a whole bunch of more money going into the WNBA, a whole bunch of more eyes going to WNBA, more teams are thinking about expanding more teams. We already know about the Bay Area team coming, Denver, Los Angeles, Denver, who else? I forgot. Maybe it was Oklahoma. Some other states were trying to have women's teams as well because, I mean, there's only 12 teams now. We want to see it expand and just get as much popularity as the NBA. And they're also starting to charter private jets for the women's teams as well. I guess they have to fly regular planes and regularly got their stuff lost in flight and stuff like that. They have to go through hella shit to get to games and have their travel be nowhere near as fancy and as comfortable as the males team. So to see that change is amazing too. I'm really excited to see these changes continue to grow and the game kind of expand, man. I'm really into it. If y'all wanna see more content in WNBA, I'll definitely talk more about it when the season comes for sure. Because I'm into it. And shout out to Naya too out there in the coaching world for college as well, college basketball. So I'm watching closely. I'm watching everything, man. College is really cool. I love college sports. So especially everybody getting paid now. It adds a little more of an incentive for, people to get more into the sport and take it seriously, man. We're seeing these young people be really, really great young, and the product is getting so much better, so much, so much younger. So I'm just excited to see what the future holds. But moving on, let's get into some pop culture. Kendrick versus Drake, man. Last time I think we discussed, I think Euphoria dropped, me and Chelsea. We didn't go too much in depth of it because I don't know if Chelsea really listened to the songs as much in depth as I did, you know what I'm saying, or had too much to say. I don't know if she was scared. I don't know if she was too much Team Drake to actually give her true opinion. But I'm here to tell the truth for everybody and let y'all know what's going on, man. But me personally, man, I like both artists. Again, like I say every time. I'm not saying I rapped anywhere near these guys' levels. So before I say what I'm gonna say, me being somebody that used to rap and do music, who listened to the lyrics a lot, used to be a young freestyler back in my day, who paid really close to attention to lyrics. I love music regardless, melodic stuff, dance music. I love all that shit too. But hip hop, when you can really say some bars and shit that go over people's heads and have people thinking and have people interested in bars again. I'm loving it all, man. After Euphoria dropped, I think we got another song from Kendrick Lamar. The order's starting to get a little buzzy for me, but I think he dropped 616 in LA. Just kind of, talking shit to Drake. It was kind of like a more mellow opposed to the Euphoria drop. He went after him. There's a lot of well, it was a little, I wouldn't say he really went after him because I know the Meet the Grams was the one that kind of really went after Drake, but I think Euphoria was one where he kind of like comically went back at Drake's push-ups, you know what I mean? Kind of let him know like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna keep it as an exhibition, we're gonna be funny about it, but you know what I'm saying, don't push those buttons that you push with Pusha T to make him go nuclear, because I got a little bit more that I can put on it than Pusha T. People didn't really like Pusha T's response. People had hated Pusha T. Pusha T didn't really give a fuck as far as what the public perception was or what people thought about him. He just kind of wanted to let Drake know that you crossed the line. I'm gonna expose you and fuck your shit up. And I think at the powers that be kind of tapped him on the shoulder and told him like the cease and desist type shit, no pun intended. But when it came to this one, I felt like that same button was pushed, and Kendrick Lamar kind of just went on another rampage and just went on another level. Me personally, this is what I wanted to see. Drake is very, very lyrical. We know what Drake does. We know what Drake has done in the past. The battles he's had of the world. Meek Mill, Common, uh, bunch of people. ASAP Rocky, you know, he didn't like him. We know of all these things in the past. We know how he kind of quieted those beefs, and whoever kind of stood up against them, he kind of just publicly humiliated them and kind of showed the world that they're not the MCs, or they are who they thought they were in a way. Kind of embarrassed them, made them put the pen down, you type of shit. Um, I just kind of felt like in this battle, Kendrick Lamar is a little different for the aspect that he doesn't give a fuck about how the internet perceives of him. He'll come and say some shit, and he's an artist, you know what I'm saying? He has I know a lot of these other guys are artists too, but I feel like the way that Kendrick Lamar rocks, you kind of have to expect it to be more than just a commenter coming out with some bars against you. It's gonna be like a stage play with multiple acts. And nobody really expected this, I guess, because nobody really saw it coming from Kendrick Lamar. But it's like how he played it out, how he drew it out, it was incredible. Now, okay, let me go back to Drake though, because after 16 in LA came out, was I guess Canadian Father's Day, which was kind of diabolical in itself, kind of going at Drake. Drake came back with the Family Matters, and the Family Matters was a man. The Family Matters was a knocker. The Family Matters was a knocker. Drop. It ended up being the second half of where push-ups was going. So I don't know if he actually already had this in the chamber and recorded that after push-ups and just had this one ready to go just in case he had to respond to something that Kendrick did. And Kendrick did do something with Euphoria in that 616 the next morning. Um, but Family Matters, when he dropped that, he kind of just went ahead and pushed those buttons Kendrick kind of like told him not to push. Talking about Dave Free and how his manager might be his mom or his baby mama's other baby, real baby daddy. Just talking shit about uh just deep shit about people, him not being a gangster, just touching the family shit in general. He said don't touch the family stuff, and Drake touched the family stuff. Though not saying everything that Kendrick did was okay to do, because I know that is the common argument that people are kind of just saying whatever Kendrick says or whatever he does, nothing can ever be wrong about that. You know what I mean? Everybody just kind of attacking Drake. Me personally, I don't think that's necessarily true, man. Again, everybody's kind of seems like they're pouncing on at the right convenient time. But me personally, I don't necessarily think that everybody has an agenda against Drake. I think he has. He's been up top for 20 plus years now. You know what I mean? So with that being said, he kind of has maybe adopted an attitude and a personality that he can't really be touched, and people think he kind of moves the wrong way and is no longer the humble guy he came in as that praised everybody. He's the guy that everybody kind of goes to try to get hits. So if you're not going through him or not, fucking with the hit maker, then it's kind of like fuck you type thing. It's a lot of girl situations going on. I know me personally, if somebody kept having sex with my girls or tried to take my girl or broke up my marriage, I have some kind of way feeling against the guy. And I think rightfully so they are. Though people are kind of making fun of people that are beefing over girls and stuff like that. But people have been in love before. If somebody came and broke up your marriage after being married or knowing somebody for 10 years and there's this opportunity to cheat on you with Drake, he came and just your wife cheated on you, your husband cheated on you. Well, I don't think he's fucking dudes, but just in a scenario, if somebody just went and cheated on you in that situation, would you not be mad at the person that made your wife cheat, or you're just going to be mad at your wife or husband? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So people can throw it to the side if they want, just say that they're tripping over nothing. But I just think that if there's a reason that everybody doesn't like somebody, I think that needs to be observed. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like that person needs to take a step back and look at themselves before attacking everybody else, being like, "Shut up, nigga, you stupid. No, shut up, you're dumb. You're just jealous because I got more money than you. You jealous over bitches, ah ha ha, whatever." Like, I get it. It sounds minuscule in hindsight, but shit, man, it's a lot of shit. You don't gotta fuck everybody's bitch. You don't gotta be the nigga in every category. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of wild shit going on. And then as he crosses over the line and kind of just does, I mean, again, you could be expressive, do whatever you want to do, be who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself. But the barrettes in the hair, the weird grills, just going out of his way to be like, oh, I can be feminine and I can be the tough guy too, do something about it types. It just all just kind of sometimes it can get annoying. I mean, again, musically, Drake is a genius. He has a pen. He does whatever Ghost Rider is aside, whatever he does is pretty much the music is cool. For sure, for sure. But just because the music is amazing doesn't mean that everybody's personality is A1 and personality is kind of half a person, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get it. If they're choosing to go to wax about it and talk shit in the open, that's kind of wild. But I guess when you can monetize off the personal beef, I guess that's always a good thing too. But either way, the consumer is getting good music. Again, from the Like That record, J. Cole's records that he contributed, the Kendrick records, and the Drake records, we have a full fucking album of beef. You know what I'm saying? We can label this summer as a time, or this spring as a time in hip hop where we had a superstar beef, nothing ended in violence, and we got a whole bunch of music out of it. Usually we'll have a couple of songs and some people getting beat up or stabbed or shot. But this one kind of was all on the music platforms, gave it to us all out there. Though people kind of divided on who to go with, and I think that's good too. I don't think it ever should always be one side is the greatest, one side is the greatest. I just want there to be a debate, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of draw interest as well. Again, Drake tried to go in and kind of do the usual tactics and kind of just make melodic songs, kind of making fun of the person and kind of like, okay, the success and the excuse me, the melodicness of this song, wow, is going to be so overbearing that people can't help but like it and say I won. But excuse me, I have to drink some water there. The way that Kendrick did it, it was crazy. The first couple, okay, it was kind of slow, kind of like sounded like he was not trying to be super attacking, kind of like therapy, kind of talking shit about Drake as a man. And then you get Euphoria. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of building off the stuff Rick Ross has said, Pusha T has said, but the creativity of it, the the delivery of it, just the whole Kendrick Lamar aspect, you know, from how he says words, his ad libs, how he puts the song together, how the beats break. You know what I'm saying? The things that he's saying, how he's saying them, how he's how he's delivering them to the user and how he's delivering lines as kind of jokes, making fun of a person, but also informing us of something, which is also adds the shock value. That it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that Drake was saying was good. We've seen he was spitting his ass off. But this is stuff that we've not like stuff that we've heard before, but styles and angles and ways of making a song that we've heard before from Drake. We haven't heard somebody rebut in a way that Kendrick Lamar rebutted. Because right after he dropped Family Matters, he dropped Meet the Grams, which was a nut song talking straight to Adonis, his mom Sandra, his dad Dennis, and then to him about and he tried to, you know, expose another kid that Drake had, maybe doesn't have, but may have. That's the thing about this. There's a bunch of rumors being thrown out here throughout this beef that nobody knows exactly if it's true. Drake fans are battling back saying, we don't know if he's actually a pedophile. We don't know if he actually has a daughter that's 11 that he's been hiding from the world. How are we going to know? Where are the receipts? And then Drake is saying stuff about Kendrick, that he's a wife beater, that he owes, or he splits money with a bunch of people. He ain't got no money. How his baby mama may have a kid with somebody that's, you know, that he thinks is his kid that's not his. Where are the receipts? But I don't I don't mind that. I mean, I feel like if there's any speculation of stuff like this, there's research have to be done, delivered in a way that makes it believable to the audience to where they can go do their research and make that decision. If it comes out for the stuff to be true, then okay, we knew and this person exposed it and they can back it up later on. But if not, hey man, why just use that and just try to discredit stuff? I just didn't like the aspect of people just coming out and being fans of one or the other and just saying, oh, this shit is trash or that's trash just because the other guy did it, man. These songs, these lyrics, how they did it was incredible. But I will say Kendrick, I think, did win. Just because I think his delivery, his stuff that he exposed was louder than the stuff that he tried to do and say about Kendrick Lamar. Though, again, nobody proved that he was a pedophile. There is rumors of him liking younger women and instances of weird shit going on and makes people think. He had a kid last year or last beef with Adonis that nobody knew about. Pusha T exposing that and made it brought a kid to the world. So him saying that there's an 11-year-old daughter made people think and do research. You know what I mean? Drake going and saying that Kendrick beat somebody up or beat up a woman or sometimes a woman beater. Supposedly that came out about him already and he cleared the rumor up. But you know what I'm saying? And just him responding to what did he respond to? He responded to Meet the Grams and Not Like Us, which was another slapper by DJ Mustard that you're probably hearing all over the radio. He dropped it right after the Meet the Grams, which sounded kind of baiting after he knew that Drake would push those buttons that we were talking about earlier. And he had that ready just in case he did. If he didn't, he was probably gonna keep it cute with Not Like Us and just drop like Not Like Us. But maybe after he did go to Family Way, talk about that Dave Free stuff, talk about some shit like that, yeah, that's when he dropped that Meet the Grams, followed with a club banger to follow up Meet the Grams because everybody, or excuse me, Family Matters, because everybody knew Family Matters could be a club song and push-ups everybody loved and thought it was gonna be a club song. And they're like, okay, if a beef song has to be, you know, if you make a beef song that can be played in the club that everybody's singing, then you can win a beef. So Kendrick Lamar went up and followed up with Not Like Us. It's been a slapper thus far. Everybody in the West Coast Bay Area going crazy for it. Just yelling out shit about OVO, calling Drake a pedophile, calling him OVO, standing for other vaginal options, just all kind of shit, which I'm not gonna say it's super okay. I'm just saying I love the divide. I love that the world is not just jumping on Drake's side and just trying to discredit Kendrick and just trying to ruin his career because they don't feel like he's worthy opponent to Drake type shit. He stood his ground. Whoever, you know, people say whoever won, they have their opinion, but a lot of the public opinions say Kendrick did hold his own and may have won. Some people say Drake is slightly behind. Some Drake fans say Drake had won the beef. Everything Kendrick was saying can't be proven, so therefore it's not, you know, it's not valid, and Drake still won. I'm just happy about the conversation. And the last song that Drake dropped, I don't remember exactly what it was called. I think it was called The Heart Part 6 or something, to play off The Heart Part 5 that Kendrick dropped when he was changing it in everybody's faces. I think he dropped that kind of just saying that nothing was true that he said in Meet the Grams. He ain't got a kid. We baited you into thinking that we had a kid because you kept saying we have moles in our organization, calling us pedophiles and stuff. If we, you know, that mole that you thought you had, we fed him wrong information about the daughter just so he would tell you I had an 11-year-old daughter he was hiding. Which I don't know if that's necessarily true because why would you do that to try to expose, you know, out of all rumors you could have gave him, the kid thing is way too close to home. I don't think you should be doing that or the pedophile stuff. So out of the information you gave, the mole came out, you have a hiding an 11-year-old daughter and you're a pedophile. Now everybody thinks this about you. I don't think that was a smart thing to do as far as the story of the planting things and knew who the mole was type of shit going on. But I don't know. Everybody's taking their own sides. But I know you heard all this stuff. I know you probably heard everybody's opinions, but I just wanted to get mine out there. I think Kendrick did hold his own against Drake. I know Drake did put out a couple of slappers, but how Kendrick Lamar did it was just so artistic and so cool, so catchy that I just kind of remember those a lot more than I remember the Drake stuff. Excuse me, I know the Drake songs were dope as well. And me personally, I don't play diss songs a lot. Me musically, I just like to play regular songs. I don't really go much into the diss songs type shit. But again, I think Kendrick won that beef, and luckily, well, Drake's security guard did get shot. Uh, in front of his mansion in his store in London did get vandalized with the "Not Like Us" on it. But I don't know, man. Maybe this is that the industry start playing games now too. The media playing games. They're flipping on Drake after a long time since the public perception is that Kendrick won. Here's the media now flipping on Drake and trying to make him look down bad right now. But I know his security guards supposedly in critical condition, so I'm not going to say I don't believe that. Prayers out to him and his family. I don't want to play with anything like that, but hopefully that now this is over. Kendrick stood his ground. Drake knows he can't bully everybody, and hopefully everybody. I don't know if they need to be friends, but just hope everybody's humble again. J. Cole knew to stay out of this one because it was crazy. Who y'all think is winning? Let me know in the comments. Let me know down below. But yeah, tonight though, there's some other music dropping. No beef shit. Maybe, who knows? Drake might drop some shit. Kendrick might drop an album because that has been rumored. But I do know Future is supposed to be dropping a mixtape tonight. Gunna is supposed to be dropping One of One. Get that. Don't forget. Don't get both of those. That's gonna be some fire coming out tonight for sure. Seddy Hendrix is coming out with some songs. A couple of my favorite artists, you know what I'm saying, dropping some other music if you don't want to listen to more any of those beef tracks anymore. If you're over those, look out for that because you already know Gunna is gonna drop a classic. Future is dropping his solo mixtape now, so I don't think it's gonna be on no beef shit. So hopefully he drops some classics in time for Labor Day as well, or Memorial Day, excuse me. And who knows? Again, Drake and Kendrick may drop as well. Tom Brady roast. Netflix, hope you guys saw it, man. Hosted by Kevin Hart. It was live on Netflix the other day. I have to talk a little bit about this because, Tom Brady brought us another championship. He's dear to my heart. Also played for the Patriots. You guys know how he did out there, 6 other championships. But it was interesting, man. I'm really surprised that Tom Brady decided to do the roast because they were going in on that, man. You know what the roast is. It used to happen on Comedy Central. They just kind of go in on the person that the roast is about. No holds barred. Everybody just goes in on them. A couple of my favorite guys, my comedian friends, people, not my friends, but people I listen to podcast wise, or people I look up to, are actually on there. It was a surprising amount of guests going in there talking hella shit, calling him gay, talking about his divorce, talking about Deflategate. Very interesting. Bill Belichick was there. Robert Kraft, a whole bunch of football players. Randy Moss went up there, made some jokes. Julian Edelman, Drew Bledsoe, the quarterback he replaced over there in New England. Who else went up there? Ben Affleck, Peyton Manning, of course, Kevin Hart, Sam J, Nikki Glazer, and what's his name? Jeff. The regular people. You watch the roast a lot. They're always on there. They're stalwarts on the roast game. I forgot to do Tony's last name from Kill Tony. He was incredible. His set was crazy. You guys have to go check it out, man. If you haven't seen it now, it's on Netflix now. Again, man, they bringing comedy back, man. I didn't really expect it to be this raunchy and them say this kind of shit, man. Saying Julian Edelman and Tom Brady were doing shit to each other in the showers. Gronk was drunk, going off script, saying all kind of crazy shit. I don't know if stuff has been edited out by now because it was live when it was happening, but there was some crazy shit happening. Kim Kardashian went up there and spoke. She was getting booed during the thing. She was, telling her jokes and stuff, getting booed, but I think they edited out the boos by the end, by the actual show. Shout out Andrew Schultz, one of my favorite up and coming comedians. He's big time now. Just did Madison Square Garden, but I listen to his podcast. I talk about that regularly with Charlemagne, Brilliant Idiots, and his own podcast with Flagrant 2 with Alex and Akash and freaking Mark Gagnon. Yeah, man, he's just on the up and up, man. It's crazy to see his rise from doing his shows, touring all over the country, big stadiums, arena tours, and now being on Tom Brady's, being the last comedian to go on Tom Brady's roast. Man, he's getting his flowers and he deserves it, man. From his workshopping, the YouTube clips and making that a thing, just all of it through COVID. Like, bro, he's been working and it's great. Congratulations on the baby too. If you watching, you're not watching, but hey, man, inspiration, dog. You and your whole team, bring your team with you. Has been incredible to watch. But back to the roast. Tom Brady went up there and did his jokes, man, and it was incredible. One of the guys tried to say something about Robert Kraft. He came in there, hey, cut that shit out. Because, I'm sure they didn't want to talk about Robert Kraft. But Boston was in the building. Tampa players were in the building. Donovan Smith, Levante David, Brashard Perriman, kind of weirdly. But, yeah, it was incredible. Kevin Hart did a great job. making jokes about people, bringing the show, actually being able to conduct the show while everybody was drunk and doing all kind of crazy shit. It was nuts. He kept saying "fuck you, Tom." It was incredible, man. You guys need to go watch that. Their whole live situation they're doing over there on Netflix is pretty cool, man. They're doing a whole bunch of shit because I know streaming right now is in a weird place. A lot of these companies that did start streaming platforms are combining. Netflix is pretty much one of the most profitable ones, so they're trying to stand alone and just kind of do shit while companies like Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max are getting together and trying to make a super app by this summer. A whole bunch of these apps are kind of getting live sports and things like that. The Jake Paul, Mike Tyson's fights on Netflix. So the streaming wars are alive and well, man. I'm excited to see what Hulu, Disney Plus, and HBO Max puts together, man, because I'm a big fan of all three of those apps. I use those regularly. So man, the streaming war. I need to have Paul on here to talk some streaming, because he's been warning us, man. Shit's gonna go in a crazy place. Apple has a whole bunch of money, of course. You know what they do. So they trying to buy up everything, and everybody's trying to fight against that, teaming up to make super apps so they can fight against being fully absorbed by Apple and have no kind of standalone credibility. I feel it. I feel it though. If it works, it works, man. We already saw Paramount combined a whole bunch of parodies properties. So I think this HBO Max Disney Plus one it could be a winner. It could be a winner. Hopefully it stays together and hopefully it doesn't get too expensive as far as app goes itself. But again, go watch the roast, man. One of my favorite quarterbacks. I fuck with you, Tom. Excuse me. Again, thank you for everything you did for Tampa Bay. You didn't necessarily deserve everything that happened to you last night, but hopefully they give you a big cut for being a trooper and sitting up there. And we'll see you on Fox next year, man. Again, thank you, Tom. I don't know why we didn't see Mike Evans there. I thought we would see Mike Evans there. Maybe he was out there in the crowd, but go check that out. What else we got on the docket for today? Cinema Corner, man. I just got word, man. I checked it out and saw Jordan Peele was going to put out a TV show on Peacock as a docu-series about Black Westerns. We saw in Nope, he kind of explored that, how horses and horse training was used in early Hollywood, and how there was a Black group of horse trainers that were really involved in early Hollywood, providing horses and providing actual stunts for a lot of these movies and stuff, as Black men. And I think he's going to further that the idea and go into Westerns and movies and actual cowboys that are African American that kind of got washed out of history when talking about the Westerns. You when you think Westerns and cowboys, you think mostly like either Hispanic or white guys, but there was actually a lot of African American cowboys and a lot of stories that haven't been told. And I think it's gonna be cool to see Jordan Peele do that. We've seen him do a lot of crazy things with Get Out, Us. We saw Monkey Man. We've seen his Twilight Zone adaptation. So he does a really good job of opening eyes and bringing attention to other things, other races, other ideas. So this one, to further explore what he was trying to introduce in Nope, would be incredible. And I'm excited to see that. I'm glad Peacock is picking that up. Again, streaming wars, you got to bring big products to your big content to your stream to actually have, the eyes come there and not watch these other ones, because Disney Plus has that Marvel aspect. I'm gonna talk about XMen soon. Like, they have these shows and this content that keeps people coming back, that keep people loyal. You know what I mean? And Peacock has the sitcoms like Community, The Office, and stuff like that throughout. They premiere a lot of movies on there too. After they hit theaters, they go to Peacock first. But yeah, Peacock needs to keep doing shit. They have live sports on Peacock a lot too. So for them to be working with Jordan Peele to put this series on there should be cool and should be a moneymaker for them. And then lastly, I wanted to talk to y'all about X-Men 97. I hope you guys are watching the show. I hope you guys are all caught up, because I'm gonna spoil a little bit for y'all. We on the last couple of episodes, we got to, the finale is split in 3 parts. We already got through episodes, I think they may be 7 and 8 if I'm not mistaken. It may be 10 episode series, so maybe episodes 8 and 9. But either way, they're called the Tolerance is Extinction Part 1 and 2. Very, very emotional series thus far. No matter where you're at, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the show now. You saw episode 5, the Genosha stuff. We saw the deepness, the depths that it'll go as far as relationships and as far as just feelings. The Gambit Magneto Rogue love triangle. The whole fact that Cyclops had a baby with a clone and just juggling which one you actually love, like who's the real one. Like it's just kind of crazy. A whole bunch of crazy stuff going on throughout just the whole Logan. I never really understood the Logan. How you gonna keep a man? Well, I guess you kind of have to keep it around. A man around that's in love with your wife and like just has a picture of her on his bed in the same house. It's just kind of crazy aspects. But I guess it was cool that there was a clone around because maybe then Logan can have the clone and then Cyclops can have the regular one. But I forgot exactly what happened to the clone in the actual I think he didn't go with Sinestro. I forgot exactly what happened to her. Did she die in Genosha? I think she was in Genosha, may have gotten killed, and the regular one that was being held captive and don't remember having kids and shit. Don't remember a lot of the shit that him and Scott went through. It's kind of fucked up. It's kind of a mind fuck. I'm trying to kind of get back into it and kind of lock in and figure out actually which one is which and what exactly happened. But in my eyes, the clone was the one that came back and Scott had a baby with, but the real one was locked up and only knew or had a relationship with Scott to a certain point. And yeah. So after the clone got taken away, he was left with a regular one, which he didn't have exactly those memories with and didn't have a baby with it. Woo, it gets deep. And then for the tolerance of extinction to go into the fact that, we saw Rogue almost kill the doctor, and we see that I forgot exactly what the fucking sentient sentinel his name was his character, but basically he made a whole bunch of humans into basically sentient sentinels that are actually designed to take out all the mutants. And we saw that plan get taken into action. But yeah, after that, we see pretty much the X-Men trying to fight these sentinels, but it looks like they're about to lose. And then all of a sudden, Magneto breaks loose and just kind of like uses his powers to send magnetic pulses to like basically black out the whole entire planet, which is pretty much the only way they could kind of deactivate these sentinels and kind of save the world, but at the same time basically sent the world back to the Stone Ages because there's no electricity and they can't really do shit. And without that, I think the planet's gonna die or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And Magneto don't care. He's like, the humans don't fucking trust us. We had a treaty and we knew this shit would happen one day. We try to be kind. They gave us Genosha. We try to be peaceful. Then you kill all of us on Genosha. I'm not fucking with y'all. Y'all try to capture me. So now I'm about to fuck y'all up. So basically he said no. We saw Charles Xavier come back in the first part of it, came back from where he was, the Shi'ar people, and just kind of exposed that he was alive. He was sent up there, kind of revealing that after kind of Storm got her powers back and everybody was kind of get their bearings back. But the reveal of Charles Xavier actually being alive kind of brought hope the team can actually fight this entity. They can bring Magneto back into the fold and they can actually be cool and just save the world like they always do. But as we saw in this last episode, Magneto wasn't fucking with it. Charles Xavier wasn't able to talk Magneto into being reasonable. They had a plan to try to get Magneto's helmet off so they can force him to put the world back into how it was. But at the same time, man, these humans, this human sentinel guy, he can't believe I forgot his name. His whole story is crazy. Sentient goo got into a dude, and when he had sex with a woman, it created a baby that was infused with this sentient goo, who became a technopath. And that technopath grew to be able to control electronics and shit like that, and grew to hate humans and mutants. Yeah, it was just a little wild. This season has been crazy, but I'm loving the direction of it. I love the twist. I love the thinking aspect. I love how it's not just a kid's cartoon; it's making you think. But ultimately, the plan didn't work. They tried to mind freak Magneto into reversing the polarity. But I think what happened, somebody intervened. I think Scott intervened to make it so Charles Xavier couldn't reverse the powers, giving Magneto a second to break free, and started fucking up Charles Xavier by putting the helmet on him and squeezing the metal, which gives Logan a chance to come and try. You know, he hates Magneto, to come and just save the day. He stabs Magneto in the chest, seemingly killing him. to stop stop him from killing Charles Xavier. And everybody's like, fuck, Wolverine, you're not supposed to kill him because he's supposed to reverse this shit. But then at the same time, Magneto turns around and is like, all right, it's time for you to actually just get up off me and just kind of know you're fucking with. And he rips the adamantium out of Wolverine's body and his body goes into pieces and the episode goes off. I'm like, bruh, we lost Gambit. Now you're just gonna murder Wolverine, bro. Like, what is happening here? What the fuck? And there's only one episode left. So this last episode is gonna be completely batshit. I'm excited for it, and I cannot wait to see what happens. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Disney Plus right now. Go catch up. And there's a couple of episodes that they said if you watch it from the old X-Men cartoon back in the day, if you watch that, it'll fill in the gaps if you want to know exactly what's going to happen for the finale, the 3-part finale. So go watch that. I hope I didn't spoil too much for you, but that shit is epic, man. I think it's one of the best shows out this year. Go check it out. It is a cartoon, but it's some good shit. It's some real good shit. And it's a perfect setup to right before Wolverine and Deadpool come out, and people are gonna, wonder if these X-Men are gonna actually integrate into the MCU. We saw the X-Men at the end of the Marvels, so you know what I'm saying? It's all leading up to something, and I'm really excited to see it. But with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? I like to let them know where you can find me at. It's your boy SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. Find us on TikTok, Best of Bias. Find us on Instagram as well, Best of Bias. Of course, anywhere you see Growly, you'll know where we at. Best of Bias on YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an episode. You know where to find us at. You know when we live. We do live sometimes, and of course, we're gonna have plenty of guests on. We still have to have many guests, and when I record on time, that gives me time to reach out to people and plan the next episodes. But when I don't record on time, I'm hella panicked, and I'm like, oh shit, let me get this shit out to the people so they know what's going on this week and how I feel about these beefs and all this shit. But plenty guests to come, plenty shit coming for the summer, man. Vacation's coming this summer. I want to take you guys with me. I'm going to vlog a lot more, let you guys know, have more content. I'm going to be gaming a lot more on Twitch. Lydell dinero on Twitch as well. It's your boy, man. I love y'all. Sorry for the last couple of times I left y'all waiting without a beat to step to, but you already know, man. I'm gonna be here for y'all all the time. If you want to be on the podcast, I know a lot of my homies have hit me up on social medias and want to be on. If you're serious about it, man, let me know in the comments. Hit me up in the bottom. Let me know you're ready. DM me, let me know you're ready again. We'll plan something out. Let me know what you want to talk about. It's the best of bias. So bring your bias to the table. We can talk about that shit though. But until the next time, thank you guys for listening to me. Sorry about the coughing in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about me being by myself this week and no guests, no Chelsea. But hey, man, we got a lot to talk about. Plenty of content coming out at you all the time. Thank you, AKA, for making this video. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for clicking play, my Best of Bias family. So wear that theme song at and have a good weekend. You know what I'm saying? You know what to do. Hey.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah.